heard the music of James Taylor. I heard it in a Disney film. The film's called Remembering the Titans, and Fire and Rain is in the middle of that. And I remember for the first time hearing the and that was really beautiful, and I hadn't heard guitar playing like that. But it's then when I was about 14, somebody put me onto a video. It was my cousin Niall Brennan put me onto a video of Tommy Manuel playing the guitar, and that just blew my mind. So I just started imitating what Tommy was doing, essentially learning how to use the thumb pick properly, learning how to arrange on the guitar, and it just kind of took off from there. Technical side of what I'm doing, it comes down to playing with a thumb pick. A lot of it depends on the thumb pick. If you're playing with your thumb and your fingers, as a lot of fingerstyle guys do, you can get a really nice tone, but the problem is your thumb is very muted. It sounds, it's very muted. But if you play with a thumb pick, you get you get this clarity out of the guitar that you don't get otherwise. So it's kind of, you're trying to do bass lines, you're trying to do melody lines, you're trying to keep the percussion going. The easiest way to explain it is if you imagine if there were a band here instead of me, you'd have somebody doing like a keyboard part, and then you'd have the drums, then you have the bass line, and the melody line. It's a Maton guitar from Australia, and the reason I use these guitars is just because I think they're the best guitars that are out there at the moment. They play really, really well. They're really well balanced as a guitar. They're very comfortable to play. But the most important thing I think about this guitar is that the pickup system is absolutely fantastic. I've got on this guitar, there are 6 piezo pickups underneath the saddle here, and there's also a condenser microphone inside the guitar. So that's why when you hear me play, not only do you hear the pickup sound, but you also hear the, you've got all those sounds, and that's because of the condenser microphone inside the guitar. And I depend on that condenser microphone as well to get all those sounds out, because I do use all of the guitar when I'm playing. Like you can see here, the guitar is wearing down there where I rest my little finger sometimes. It's also wearing down here where I scratch the guitar and beat the guitar, and there are different marks all over the guitar. But it's because I use the guitar kind of to its fullest potential, so it's not just 6 strings and strumming chords and stuff. I'm actually trying to get as many sounds as I can out of the guitar. So I'm always trying to find something new to do with the guitar, just to look for a different sound. But generally with the microphone you can achieve nearly any kind of percussive sound that you want. I'm using an Air amp here. These amps are made in Germany and they're absolutely fantastic. Usually my setup is I'll have the Air amp on stage beside me, and I use a little bit of the EQ from the Air amp, and then I take a line out of the amp and put that into the PA, because that gives it a really, really warm sound. A lot of times if you plug a guitar, if you DI straight into a PA, it can sound a little bit harsh, it can sound a little bit tinny. When you put it into the Air amp, it just really kind of makes it gives it that really crystal clear sound. It's like having a really good sound man at the front. So it's kind of between the Maton pickup, as powerful as it is and as alive as it is, and the Air amp, when you put that into a PA, there's very, very little that can go wrong. So it's great to have confidence when you get up. No matter where it is, you're confident that your sound is going to be good. Yeah, I recorded an album recently. The album's called Zephyrs, and the approach I took with the album was I tried to make it as similar as possible to the live show. So I didn't use any other musicians. I didn't use any overdubs. I just went, one guitar, generally 1 or 2 takes for each track. So we tried to capture as much of the big live sound as possible and put it on the CD. Every track is slightly different. It's a little bit of a different genre. Like you're going from a very funky to a much more subtle, that was Avenue, to a much more subtle tune like Model goes. And then towards the end of the album, you've got the more upbeat tunes, like you've got the Peacock Strut, for example, which is. There are so many styles of guitar playing out there that are just phenomenal. I think I love classical music, I love flamenco music, I love jazz, I love Irish traditional music, I love pop music as well. But for me, like funk, soul, disco music, I absolutely love that kind of stuff, and I'm trying to bring that kind of groove onto the guitar. So if I can get people to react in the same way as they would to a funk band, that's my job done.